So as you can see, guys, we are back on Metal Gear Solid. It has been such a long time since I've been doing YouTube. Whenever I've always wanted to put some Metal Gear Solid up on the channel, and here I am. I'm finally doing it. And if you watch the channel update, or if you're new, I'll go through it regardless. We're going to try and do Metal Gear Solid on normal difficulty without dying. I'm only going to make one save around the halfway mark when Snake gets captured, just for in case of technical difficulties. If I die after that save, it will still be a full restart. It's just so I can take mainly a break and just make sure all my footage is okay up to that point. This isn't a particularly long game, especially when you play it as much as I have. So, yeah, let's have some fun. I'm going to be very over the top, very sycophant. It's going to be a bit of a love fest, so I apologise for that, but it'll help us get some Call of Duty out of our system, and without dying, we can probably get some of the Uncharted deaths out of the system as well on Brutal, where we're dying every 2 seconds, as you'll know if you've been watching that series. And if you haven't, please consider checking that out. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are interested. No one's forcing you though, so don't worry about it. Anyway, let's hit on normal. So we'll go through a few things. We'll be skipping all cutscenes and any story dialogue. Sorry, I know it's the best part of the game, really, especially given its age, but I just want to focus on gameplay. I've experienced this game's story many times and the gameplay itself, but I don't have enough. Nobody wants me doing this for ages with the cutscenes. So, first section of the game is probably one of the hardest because I can't survive, as I'll show you here. I have a very low health bar. Now, one of your main questions probably is, why is the game in Japanese? Well, I've actually set it to the Metal Gear Solid Integral selection through the Master Collection, which came out in October last year. The reason I've done this is because if I complete the game on normal, or any difficulty on the Integral version, which is the Japanese re-release version in 1999, game came out in 98 originally, if I complete this game, I understand that I unlock a mode called Arrange Mode, which changes guard pattern routines, and that, you know, having played this game the number of times I have, I would absolutely love to have a mode where I can, you know, have guard routines changed. It will make the game feel so much fresher. So that's really my main incentive for doing that. I'd say I've got some... These footsteps used to always creep me out as a kid. I always distinctly remember playing this a lot for the first time as a kid because it scared the hell out of me. I mean, I've got the game audio set a bit low so my voice is a bit clearer, but with the music and the setting and the fact that Snake isn't going to survive much, it makes it quite a scary moment. You know, it's quite an intense atmosphere, and the camera angles, you know, it's set, set cameras that move dynamically, very kind of Resident Evil, really. It is very spooky. To a 7-year-old, it was spooky. I didn't play this since I was about 8 years old, and by this point, this game was already well old. It was about 2005, around then. For years, I tried to play it because I loved stealth, loved the idea of playing a stealth game and trying to sneak past enemies. But I'd rather just play something like SOCOM, which was a PS2 action game where you played as Navy SEALs, which had like more... It wasn't mandatory stealth, but you were encouraged to do stealth. I found that easier because when these guards spot you, and they will a couple times in the game through 4 sections, it gets pretty scary with all the music. You know, everyone's, loud music, exclamation marks, the controller vibrates, very spooky. To a 7-year-old. Still got the ability to scare me now as a 26-year-old at times if I'm not focusing. One of the worst things I used to have was my phone. My text notification used to be the same noise as the spotted thing, and the amount of times my phone would go off while I was playing Metal Gear and I was like, oh my god, I've been spotted, and I've been looking around on screen like, nobody's spotted me. But yeah, I've got lots of anecdotes like that, so there'll be a few of them. Thankfully the guard's eyesight is awful, but anyway, let's complete this first section. 1 section down, we've not died, good start. Now the only thing with playing it on Metal Gear Solid Integral is, of course, you'll notice everything is in Japanese. The voices are still in English. I can change that if I wanted. It's a shame this Master Collection's ended up as busted as it has, because it was a really good opportunity to get people into the series, and I think it's in a decent state now, but when it came out at launch, there was a lot missing. I still believe this game's analog support is somewhat broken. It's still working on D-pad controls despite using a thumbstick. We'll just watch this little intro, just to set the scene a little bit. I say, I reckon I can have this done. With no cutscenes, I'll have this done in about 2.5 hours, max. You see, even when I played this game years later, I still thought this was some of the coolest stuff I'd seen in a game. To be so movie-like, and games have so taken this influence. It's not like, and you know, some things get said about Metal Gear Solid that aren't true. It wasn't like the first game to have like a decent story or, you know, have great voice acting. There were plenty of games that had that before, but I think it was the whole package, the way it combined. Plenty of games that had those individual things, but never to the point of, you know, it feeling like such a cinematic. You felt like you were playing a film, but unlike nowadays, the problem we have nowadays is that line has become blurred, and you have games that play like films. Whereas Metal Gear Solid, yeah, it's like a film 'cause it's got a lot of cutscenes, and I don't spend a lot of time playing it. But as soon as I skip all these cutscenes and I'm playing the game, it's a goddamn video game. There's no forced walking or anything like that, which is a real scourge that has happened on in the video game scene for me. These cinematic experiences, and I put that in quotation marks, that I think are really plaguing the industry a lot. You know, it all comes, I think, from The Last of Us. I mean, Uncharted had a very cinematic, you know, flair to it, but oh, got there. That was close. Just go with these. We want these chaff grenades, so I want them. But Uncharted had like, you know, I felt very cinematic. But I think if I do this, it makes me quicker. There we go. We'll get these.
Surveillance camera?
Can I dodge past this? I think I can. No, I can't. Can I, from memory? Nope. Chaff grenade it is. That disables all cameras. We'll get these stun grenades. We'll need these much later in the game. Right, we're going to need the pistol in there as well, but I know there's a guard hanging about, because when you've played this game close to 30 times, you kind of know where everybody is. So we've got our gun. That's what we want. Now, as a kid, I always went in this way, which generally led to me getting spotted by that guy. And you're always far better off going upstairs, because what you find is it's far easier to... Oh, guard coming. No, we're all right. You get an early grab at the thermal goggles, which is massive. You need those. Just wait for that guard to move away. A lot of this game is watching a radar, which is one of its big criticisms, you know. And it's certainly a fair criticism, because they really could have done with pulling that camera out. They okay, I can't remember that route the guard has. Right, he's going up. Does that guard turn around? I know he does eventually, but I'm going to take a chance. Go, go, go. Beautiful, we're in the vents. But going back to that point I was earlier making about Uncharted, yeah, Uncharted started like this as well, was a big cinematic thing, how it pushed, you know, cutscenes and feeling like an adventure game, whereas this felt like an action, just a standard like military action film. There was a distinct difference there. Ah, Albert Wesker from Resident Evil. But Last of Us really pushed this even more so with and Last of Us is one of my favourite games ever. It used to be in my top 10. It's not anymore. It's since gone down the list a bit, but it's still up there as one of my favourite games ever, and I've played that plenty of times and love it. But that's certainly, I think that's where the line crossed, where we started getting these film video games. And I know there was stuff like David Cage's games like Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls, but they were always their own thing that half of people liked and half of people didn't like. It, you know, it wasn't like massive. Not everybody walked away saying Heavy Rain's a great game. Some people said, "Oh, what a great game." I enjoyed Heavy Rain for what it was, but now we get much more games like that, which are just trying to be films, and there's a fine line. I much prefer the Metal Gear Solid route, where we'll have our cutscenes, but when we're playing the game like this, we are playing a damn video game, and it is video game as hell. Yakuza does that really well as well. That's another series where the cutscenes are really well done. They feel like a serious, you know, Yakuza drama, you know, mafia type shit. Obviously with that Japanese flair that you either love or hate, or are a bit indifferent to. But when you're playing the game, it's all fantastical as hell, and I think that's the way to do it. That's, you know, that's taking advantage of the medium of video games. I think just making a game where you walk around and do nothing is not the best way to do it. So the hardest thing about this is having patience to sneak past all these cameras. That's why I never liked to come in this way as a kid, because you've got to contend with all these cameras. But the reason I'm doing this is because we get an early grab at the thermal goggles. Normally you have to wait much longer in the game to get these. It's quite refreshing to play a game like this that I know so well after doing Modern Warfare 2, which I've been struggling at. Do I honestly think I'm going to do this challenge of not dying? I honestly don't know. I think I'm going to struggle. There's some parts in this game which would really trip me up even now. I'm not too worried about boss fights, particularly. The only hardest ones are like the sniper fight. Okay, let's sneak past that. Just need to focus up here. I don't want to go down there. Playing this game on hard is honestly really hard because you don't have this camera. Sorry, the radar. And that just makes life a bit miserable because the camera is so zoomed in. Let's go to floor 1. You can't go to floor B yet. Well, you can, but there's absolutely nothing you can do there. Just for reference, I will not be performing any level skips. Like, there's a very famous skip here where if you go under a vent, you can activate the trigger on this door and basically skip half the game. We're not going to do that because that actually makes it a lot more complicated, and I want the real challenge of trying to do this. But the trick is to sneak under this vent, and you can do some trickery with the camera where you basically get stuck in the wall and you can move around and hit that door. But anyway, we're not going to do that. We're playing it legit. And we are going to find our first hostage, and then we are going to start with some combat. I think there's some ammo down here, isn't there? Yeah. We won't indulge in any of the shitting diarrhea jokes, which are below us if you look down these vents. It's like the Johnny Sasaki meme of Metal Gear Solid, when it was just a joke for the first 3, and then he became an actual character in the 4th one, and almost single-handedly ruined the game. Who knows, maybe there'll be a Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2, which will have Metal Gear Solid 4, and maybe we'll talk about that someday. I mean, as I say, these criticisms that I'm making about video games, I mean, Kojima himself is, I would say, is quite partial to them. Metal Gear Solid 5 featured a lot of walking and talking, so unfortunately the great Kojima himself has fallen to this, and Death Stranding was, I thought Death Stranding was a major improvement on Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know how many people share that opinion. I'm not actually that excited for Death Stranding 2, because I thought it was a great individual, you know, game. I kind of really aren't craving a Death Stranding 2, but Metal Gear, there's the line, I had to include that. Let's just skip ahead all these cutscenes. Practically speedrunning here. So far, no damage, no alerts, no anything. Just a few cutscenes have slipped us by. So yeah, this guy died of a heart attack. I mean, you didn't meet him, so don't worry about it. We're now in a shitty cell. But I love how even in the 90s you have the detail of the maggots down there. Like, I mean, there is talk of a Metal Gear Solid remake. I know there is a Twin Snakes before everyone shouts at me from the mid-noughties, but, you know, there is talk of a remake, and I can imagine they do this grimy cell some real justice. So this door opens. Snake is going to be an absolute doofus and fail to see the enemy right there, right next to him, and get spotted. But it turns out it's Merrill. But you're not here for story, you're here for action, and here we go. First alert. Thankfully, I've played this game a lot.
I'm telling you, shoot!
Yeah, so for all its stealth, there are those action moments. This is something that the series improves a lot by the 3rd entry. Metal Gear Solid 2 is partial to these moments. The trick is just to mash square. There we go. There'll be some grenades soon, I think. There they are. Oh, you klutz. Well, I'm not bothered about using rations. Ignore me. Wow. I dodged the grenades and ran into them. Genius level play. 1 ration used. I was hoping not to use that many rations, but if I want to survive, that's going to be the case.
You fool! You've killed.
Sorry, I keep wanting to watch these cutscenes. I need to remember to keep skipping them. Get this action flowing. I mean, to be fair, when you get to the middle of this game, it does flow very well. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 like to do the action a lot. These weird action scenes. Splinter Cell was also quite partial to it, and much like in all of those games, they are probably the weakest parts of the games at times because the combat isn't strong because it's not meant to be. Just quickly here. So this guy right here, this guy will ruin an entire Metal Gear Solid game on his own. No context further required, I think. But yeah, I always remember Splinter Cell 1 had that shootout in like the farm-like setting towards the end of the game. It's like the hardest level in the game where you're on the roof and you have to go really slowly while the lights are coming on and off. It's a really cool scene. But it ends with this really like bombastic action scene, but the combat controls are just not there. It's really wonky. So in this section we're looking for walls that are different colours like that, and they're also hollow, which you can check by knocking them. Which again, when I was a kid, I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. And to be fair, it was for its time. And it was at an age where I was just playing Call of Duty games, you know, Medal of Honor all the time, and never really finishing them because it was hard to finish a game. I think this was the first game I actually sat down and finished because I was really engrossed and wanted to keep playing and see what, you know, the story was taking me places. I just wanted to know what was going to happen, really. This is also probably one of the hardest rooms I have to do because the fear of getting killed by a trapdoor is very real. You can see the trapdoors with the thermal goggles, not the binoculars. So there's one there, it's that red plate. Should have some ammo in here, I think. Ah, grenades. We'll just... No, we need to blow up on these walls, because if we do it later, the enemies will be alerted. Because this room's going to fill with enemies. There we go. I think there's a trapdoor in here, isn't there, off memory? No, there isn't. So, stun grenades and chaff grenades, very useful. One of the things I should say, if you don't already know, if you own this Master Collection or you're thinking of buying it, make sure you play it on either the American or Japanese settings, because it runs a lot smoother than the European ones. So I just need to dodge all this. There we go. Because there's no ambiguity with them. The minute you stay too long on those trapdoors, you're dead. There's no, will I survive this? You're dead. And it's very easy when you're trying to sneak by here later to take your eye off the ball and get caught out. But we are coming up to our first boss fight. Which, there are some really good strategies you can do to make it a lot quicker, but I'm not going to take any risks with that. Just checking my recording's all good, pardon me. Coming up to about 20 minutes here. That's probably about on par. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty maxed out on my skill on this game. I ain't gonna get much better at it now. Which is definitely how I feel about Devil May Cry 1 after doing that game on Dante Must Die. It's like, you just know you've hit a ceiling on a game that may be a very good ceiling, but you do know, you know, deep down that that's about as good as you're getting. But here we go, we got the first boss fight with Revolver Ocelot, which is a character I think that's, like, you know, has a bit of a meme, has gone past Metal Gear at this point. Nice start. Troy Baker played this guy, Metal Gear Solid 5. Oh, fucking hell. This is not a good performance. So the time with him is when he's reloading, of course. Wow, we're struggling. You just know, because I'm recording, I'm going to put in the most pathetic performance. There we go, got him. There we go. You can get him in a bit of a loop here. He'll turn and shoot, so we need to move. Ocelot is basically a boss fight in every Metal Gear Solid, barring like 2. His fight in Metal Gear Solid 3 is very similar to this one, but a lot better. More open. Alright, we've got a groove going now. We'll go around. But it's all about hitting him when he's reloading. If you're ever struggling on Metal Gear Solid, remember to use the codec, because, you know, the Colonel and Naomi will give you a lot of helpful hints. But this geezer can bend his bullets, so you've got to be really careful at times. And don't shoot Baker, the hostage. That is kind of frowned upon. Get him when he's reloading. There we go. I'll pick up some ammunition. You got to be careful picking up the ammo, because that ammo box at the end there is very hard to get without hitting the tripwire, obviously. Ah, he's got me. He's bloody... Right, we have lost a ration again, but we've got him now. There we go. One boss down. We did take a bit more damage than I expected, but I'm pretty good apparently, so I'm not going to cry too much. So by the time I skipped a load of cutscenes, Ocelot's lost his hand, a ninja has shown up, and another guy's died of a heart attack. Standard Metal Gear Solid stuff. You don't get this on the 20 years of Call of Duty, let me tell you.
Bribes.
Right. It's funny when you get the first line of a cutscene. Bribes, just out of context. But yeah, we've got a lot of 90s stuff coming up, haven't we? So when we beat a boss fight, we get our health. We get a health boost. So by the end of the game, that health bar is going to be pretty gnarly, I think, as the Yanks would say. Now we've got one of the more famous bits of this game coming up, where you were advised to check the back of the CD case, because on there is a codec frequency with the codec that you need to ring to progress in the game, which as a kid confused the hell out of me. Now, apparently there was a way to do it. If you held this and called the kernel, he would eventually give you the frequency, which I never knew as a kid. Absolutely crazy. So we need to ring 141.15. That is memorized in my skull. Of course, in this day and age, you could just Google it. Pardon me. You can just Google it, but back then you couldn't do that. That was just not an option. Pardon me. Apologies about that. But yeah, I remember for ages just looking, and I kept looking at the case, and I was fascinated by the artwork on it. And eventually, I just turned it around, and I kept looking and going, "Hang on a minute, there is a frequency on there." Really obvious. It's a picture of this basically, and I was like, "Oh wait, that's it." And I felt so. I honestly, I felt like a genius. 8 years old for that. But everyone's got their own like stories of that, of like how they borrowed the game off somebody for like a week and didn't have the case. Jesus, it's a long conversation. This is hurting my finger, this. Everyone's got loads of horror stories of how they were playing. They borrowed the game's case. They borrowed the disc, but they didn't, that was it. So when they got stuck on this section for ages and like ringing their friends who were on holiday on like a big landline. But we need the thermal goggles for this, well we don't, because I know what the lasers are. But here we're going to get the FAMAS, which incredibly is a gun I don't think I ever used on the 20 years of Call of Duty. I think that's right, we never used a FAMAS, which is kind of crazy. This is a French weapon, by the way, the FAMAS, if you don't know. If you're not a weapon expert, and what kind of man are you then? And I can say that because I know from my audience that it's a completely male audience. I can see on my analytics, so I don't just say that flippantly. We've been in there. That's a level 5. That's the door we need later. Shit. Where's he going? See, there could be a trapdoor here. This is where it all goes wrong. But yeah, on hard difficulty, this is some intense shit. Go on, go that way. Yes. Hit the button. Snake just doing random kicks. Because that's how he gets his kicks. So we're progressing nicely. One boss fight down without too much drama. But you can get Ocelot with grenades. I've seen a strategy where you can throw grenades at Ocelot, and you can take off like half his health in one go and then do it again. But it's such a risk because if you throw the grenade wrong, you hit the tripwire, and the whole place goes kaput. So it was a strategy not worth trying on a challenge run like this, because if I get it wrong, I've got to do it all again. Although that is the time to try it because we're so early into the playthrough. But worth coming in here because if I can kill this guy, we can get a suppressor. Supposedly. Have I done that too early? Where's the suppressor gone? Oh, I had the SOCOM already equipped. Lol. So that helps me. I can now shoot a bit freely. Now this is a point in the game where I can easily get fucked. This is the part I'm really dreading. So I've got to get through this laser, this laser section. If I trip one of the lasers, I'm dead. I've done it millions of times, but I don't know, it never gets easier to me. The stress this caused me as a 8-year-old was hard to quantify. I think the hardest thing is knowing which laser to look at. And of course, if your foot's in the wrong place at any moment, it's like, bye-bye. Right, we've done it. Jesus, I still sweat now because, well, especially now because I know if I die, I've lost 20 minutes. But thankfully, you've only got to do it once. But that is intense. So there's going to be some mines here, which if you don't know any first time, you're gonna be screaming because it's bullshit, you know.
Snake, be careful. There are claymore mines around there. Use a mine detector. Who are you?
Sorry, I don't know why I was watching that. That's the Cyborg Ninja. Spoilers. We'll get a few claymores. Claymores are very useful for a further boss fight near the end of the game. I didn't discover this until I was, you know, quite old either, where you could crawl over them to get the claymores. Very handy. I don't think there's any ahead of me, is there? No. So, second boss fight incoming. Seeing as how we've just seen a couple of tanks, there we are, M1 Abrahams. So, we need to be careful of mines. We've actually only got one ration, so we need to be a bit careful here. Is that a ration? We need the grenades for this. Which I think if GameSpot was to ever do their, you know, that video series where it's like trying to do things SAS actually style, this is complete bollocks. You cannot defeat a tank with one man. So I think that stops the main gun, I think. That gives us a fighting chance. Right, here we go. Let's have it. He can still use his guns though. Ah! So the trick here is to throw a grenade into the gunner section. There we go, nice. Oh, he was chasing me. He's gone. Nice one.
See how you like this?
So we've got a new gunner. If we do that again, it's over. I would love to do this with only 2 grenades. Bollocks. Don't get up, Snake. Don't get up, because you'll get run over. There you go. Yeah, never get up too soon, because it'll just... You're going again. He moves in such an erratic way. That's like me driving a tank on COD. Oh, I don't think we got that one. No, we missed that time. Oh my god. Oh man. I rarely get hit by that. Not often I see that cutscene, but we have this time. So... Oh no. Oh Christ, he's got too far away from me. Oh no. This is all kinds of gone wrong. Alright, okay. Ah! I've had enough of you. Is it possible to take out the wheels or anything? It probably is. I've probably never thought of that. Oh no. I'm not dying to the tank. I refuse to die to this. This is like one of the easier boss fights as well. Go on. Yes! Oh my god, that was a mess. I am not putting my best foot forward. Good job I agreed not to do no rations on this. Is it worth me going back out there? No, we've still got 1 ration. So we're okay. We're okay for now. Hey, you want to see mistakes, don't you? So, you saw them then. Second boss fight down. I think there's 10. Is there 10 boss fights? At least they're all pretty unique as well. This isn't no Devil May Cry situation. DMC 1 where it's like, did you enjoy that boss fight? Would you like to do it again? Would you like to do it a 3rd time? So, in this room, what that codec conversation is basically saying, we can't use our weapons because there's nuclear material everywhere. And they don't want a big disaster, which boring. So it's important that I get the chaff grenades here. Yep. I've always gone this way as a kid, and it's quite a boring way to go across this section. There we go. Let this guy go past. These are the like iconic shots of Metal Gear. These moments like this when the guy walks past, and you can feel yourself sweating. So I need to go B1 first. No, I think it's B2. B1, yeah. Because we're going to meet up with Otacon, but to get to Otacon we need a rocket launcher. Because if you didn't know, the only way to meet all your friends is with a rocket launcher. It's a regular problem for me and my friends. Where is the rocket launcher? Is the question. Ah! He's come this way. Go away. Piss off. So what makes this room interesting is that you've got a guard who's having a piss in the bathroom, and he will continuously come back to like... Oh, he's on his way. I'm speaking of the devil. But when one leaves, the other one goes for a piss, I think. Right, he looks that way. Oh my god. Do any of these doors open? Yes, thank the Lord. Right, I'm going for it. That was close. I think he's going for a piss. No, he's not. One of them might be though. B2. All these years on, it still creates that tension. So, rocket launcher acquired. There's Otacon. So we've got to hit that panel, basically. Or we get absolutely melted by the electric floor. Oh, another codec call. Leave me alone. You are interrupting my video. Very straightforward, this. The only thing that's not straightforward is all the gun cameras that can completely ruin you. But it's not too bad. The frame rate doesn't like it though. There we go. We can now walk on the floor. I could really do with finding another ration before another boss fight. Because yeah, there's another one. They are really a ferocious pace. I'm always skeptical. Always check the room because you just don't know what traps they're putting in there. But we've got a ration. Stun grenades. Yeah, nothing we need in there. There is a camera in that one. But I think that's useful kit. So we're going to throw a grenade in there. And hopefully there are no mines as well. Because the game is evil that way. Get that. Gas mask, very good. And we dodge this camera. Now what's cool is on this door it says Hal's Lab, keep out. I only recently realised that on the Master Collection. I never noticed that before. A really cool touch. So yeah, the game is going to take a very horror turn with this corridor of death.
Like they were cut by some type of blade.
I wanted to keep this in because this was this moment when I was like, what the hell, as a kid?
It's a ghost.
Because the game's been a bit out there at the minute, but now it's like, what? Why is there like ninjas and machine guns and horror? This creeped me out less though than sneaking, so that says a lot about my horror sensibilities. There he is, old Grey Fox. If you beat this game twice and get both endings and then do the game again on the same save file, he's all red. And Snake's also wearing a tuxedo. I'll tell you what does creep me out. This guy's still alive. You can see that his body's moving, yeah. So how many rations have we got? 3? That's good. This is one of the harder boss fights. I know I made that tank look hard, but I've got to be switched on for this. Because Grey Fox will make mincemeat of me. Right, if it's going to end this run, it's now. Right. The trick is to punch this guy. Funnily enough. This took me ages as a kid. Because, you know, he just kept killing me and I kept trying to shoot him and it wasn't working. And I just punched him out of desperation and all of a sudden it worked.
It is the basis of all combat. Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon.
Right, I'm going to keep them out just in case. So the trick is, you've got to like bait him to attack, basically, and catch him. Now, thankfully I played through this game on hard quite not that long ago. So that wasn't... If you feel yourself getting caught, get out of there immediately, because he has some disgusting range on this kick. Trick is to use the geometry, I find. Oh man. Like, I still don't know all his attacks. But you can get caught in a very nasty loop of constantly getting hit. It can feel like complete horseshit. But I've played this game that many times that if he does that attack, you're laughing because it's an easy punch. Although no doubt he'll come back with a vengeance. Ooh! But yeah, you want to catch him on a corner like this if you can. Just because it's harder for him to get a straight line on you. Ooh, like that. Like, you know, if you're just running randomly because you're not familiar with this, you're having a bad time here. I've got him. Bang. Some good work so far. I only got hit to one nonsense, didn't I? Go on. The trick is to sort of stop and then go. But knowing that timing is a work of art. Oh shit. I say, if he ever does the jump attack, you are laughing. I've improved a lot of this fight recently. I did the game on hard not long ago, and they make this fight so much harder on the harder difficulties, obviously, but it's a grind. So thermal goggles are pretty good here. Dun dun. I can't. There he is. You've got to find him quick, otherwise he'll batter you. Nice. Yeah, the thermal goggles very much trivialised that. Right, in we go. Now the fight's going to change gears. He's going to keep doing that. This is actually way easier when you learn it. All he does is, like, just flicker in different areas. But on hard, he does that like 3 times. He proper tries to catch you out. And by the way, that punch takes like half your life off, so you don't want to get hit by that. That was pretty risky there, to be fair, because I was fannying about. Dun 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 dun.
The field of battle, the clashing of bone and sinew.
Oh, we've made mincemeat of this. This is a boss fight I finally got good at, and I'm so happy. It does feel quite Devil May Cry to me, for some reason. Just for its patterns of, you know, melee combat. Yeah, there you go. He starts doing that, but on hard he does that a lot more. Right, get away. Because this is the worst part to die at. I always thought you could shoot him. Yeah, you can, yeah. Yeah, don't get in close with punching, there's no point. Just shoot him. And when he goes there, you know you've done it. There you go, nice one.
I felt that snake.
Let's just check where we are. 40 minutes, nice one. So that ninja is Snake's best mate. So I don't know about your friends, but none of mine are like quite that strange. So yeah, we are doing quite well. 40 minutes in. I was hoping to get to the halfway point after an hour, but it might just take a tad bit longer.
How long are you gonna stay in there?
Skip all this. One of the best things the Master Collection does is, by the way, it lets you pause cutscenes. You couldn't do that on the original, but I don't think you can do it on Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 yet, which somebody needs to have a word, because those games, Metal Gear Solid 2 has the much longest cutscenes. Metal Gear Solid 3 is top loads all its cutscenes at the very beginning and then really lets you play it after about an hour. That's why it's the best one, because it really does. The game literally like shuts up, because Metal Gear Solid 2 never shuts up, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 is like, look, we've talked a long time for this opening hour. Just play the game and enjoy it, man, because it's class. Then Metal Gear Solid 4 goes right back to, you did not buy a game, you bought a film, and get used to it. At least we've only been spotted the once. That's what I'm quite happy about. Get the health boost. We took only one hit there, didn't we? So I'm really happy with that. We got a level 4 card. So as you can see, when you know what you're doing on this game, you really fly through it. And just a quick Easter egg here. That's a PS1 there, in all its blocky glory. And I'm fairly certain when you come back here in Metal Gear Solid 4, it's a PS3. I might be wrong about that. Right. Let's keep moving. We're doing good so far, but I know at this game, this is very much the kind of game where you do one thing wrong and your whole run comes to an end. And I'm getting to the point now where I've done quite a bit, so I don't want to be dying. So we open that door. That's a level 4 door. I think this one's got the mine in. One of the doors has a mine in. And it's not this one. Really? They hide stun grenades behind level 4? That's kind of evil. Let's just get our oxygen back. Because there's some useful stuff in this area. I don't think I can get it all just yet, but it's worth your time exploring around here. Shit. That door's not openable. This one is. Check for mines. Nope, we are good. Gas mask. That's the problem with this game. You spend so much time in bloody menus, but there's a real problem with games back in the day. It wasn't just applicable to Metal Gear, to be fair. You know, one of my favourite games ever, Resident Evil 4, that's my main issue with that game, is you just spend too long in the menu. Gas mask. We're going to need to use a chaff grenade here. Right. I'm going to go up here and get chaff grenade. I didn't need the ration. Bit of a waste of time, that, but... Right, is there a mine in here? I know one of these rooms has a claymore. I guess I'm wrong. Night vision goggles. Very good. Where's the mine detector? I always forget. So one of these is a level 6 because... yeah, that one. That's got body armor, and that's what we need. We can't get that for a while yet. Right, get the air back in our lungs. And I hope you guys are still enjoying this video with me. Very different from Call of Duty, isn't it? And Tomb Raider and Uncharted. It's very out there, so be one. Yeah, we've got to find Meryl. I almost forgot what I was going to do, what I was meant to do then. So Meryl is wearing an enemy uniform, as you may remember from 30 minutes ago, but she has one fatal flaw. She's a woman. So she doesn't walk normally. That's it. She does that weird walk, you know you're good, so we can let her get spotted. So, I mean, you can wait for her to go to the women's bathroom, but yeah, you can just do that and speed up the process.
Don't move.
It's quite funny. If you call the support team when you're in the women's bathroom, you get quite a scolding off the women, funnily enough. So we've linked up with Meryl.
Okay, let's go. I know this place better than you.
We've had a lot of talking in the last 10 minutes, so we've skipped all that. And one of the game's more crazy boss fights is coming up now.
That's strange. There's no guard.
What happened to the music?
I'll keep a lookout. Make sure you're ready, okay?
So let's get some supplies. because we've got an iconic boss fight coming up. Which, if you know, you already know what's coming. Psycho Mantis with all his memory card nonsense. Which, for as cool as all that stuff is, and certainly blew my mind as a kid, and a lot of people's, it's kind of not the best fight. I hate being that person, but it's pretty basic, really. There isn't loads to it. But it's an easy one to die at. Cardboard box, there it is, the iconic item. We need that, actually. That's important, believe it or not. But yeah, the game's about to get weird. Weirder. Oh, yeah, I was waiting for the get to do something. So Meryl's going to start getting messed around with.
The commander is waiting.
We got time for this boss fight? We do. We've got enough recording time. This shouldn't take longer than 15 minutes. One of the cool things is I can now see from Meryl's point of view. That's a hint that something is awry. I should have the thermal goggles equipped, actually. Yep, we'll need them. What's going on? We're stuck. Ah! So we're just going to punch Meryl, because she's obviously been mind-controlled. One of the best lines, really, because you just have the Colonel saying, just knock her out, my niece. God, Meryl, sit down. There we go, that'll do it.
Useless woman.
There, I just wanted that line. We'll watch this.
No, perhaps I should say your past. You are a very methodical man. The type
Thank you.
who always kicks his tires before he leaves. You are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission.
Thank you. You obviously didn't watch the tank battle.
You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious, or you are a coward.
Yeah.
Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul.
So, we've not saved. So, mention that.
Your memory is completely clean. You have not said often. You are somewhat reckless. I can read you like an open book. You still don't believe me?
We don't need to do the controller thing. So, one of the iconic things about this fight is you had to change your controller port to beat him. Now, I can't do that on PS5, so it's just as simple as this. Which is a bit of a shame, but it means I don't have to get up, so that's always nice. So there you are. I'm convinced that if your console was connected to your TV, I'm convinced Kojima would have just changed the channel here. He wouldn't have bothered with all the with just doing the fake out. But we'll go this right. So this is a boss fight. I think it's easy to fuck this up by being lazy, because you can't do massive damage to this guy. So it gets pretty tiresome about halfway in. So the trick is to just get down. I mean, you can get ambitious and try and go for shots here, but I've never really found it worth it. Snake's just a bit too slow to get up. But that's like the max damage I'm doing to him. Oh, wow. But yeah, if you don't really have your eye on the ball, you'll know about it. I say, you can take some pot shots here, but it's not worth the risk. I should stop doing it. Just get down. I can turn these off, actually. It's him, Snake. There you go. I don't think you liked that. Yeah, just stay prone, and the paintings will not hit you. Oh, piss off. But yeah, I died ages on this as a kid. Because the thing is, if your controller's in port 1, you can still hit him. But it's, you know, you're very unlikely to do so. But it can create the illusion that you're doing something. I just remember, and it was hell. I just remember it being hell. Right. Yeah, it's not worth it. That was embarrassing. That was luck. I don't know how I dodged that. Right, we're halfway there. That's this game summed up. Just a man on the floor doing this. But yeah, I remember as a kid, like, actually trying to clear my mind, because that's what the colonel told you to do, and then eventually said, switch the controller port. So I did it. There you go. Oh, I always forget he does that. He's a proper sneaky bastard for that. Ow. Can't survive another one of them. There we go.
You are powerful indeed, but I know your weak point. Meryl, stand right where he can see you and blow your brains out.
Stop! Meryl!
So don't let her shoot herself, obviously. I'll do it.
It cannot be! No!
Right, we need the thermal goggles back. Oh, it's that in it. Yeah, if you use the first person view, you can see where he is. Right on top of me. Got him. That was a bit messy, but we got him. I think those are our first family shots, aren't they? There you go. So he's going to throw everything at us now. I want to use C4, but I think that'll kill Meryl. One more shot. There we go. Iconic boss fight down. Not too bad. I got caught out by Meryl once, didn't I?
Colonel, your niece is going to be okay.
Thanks, Snake.
There we go, nice one. Progressing very well.
So, you used the other... I wasn't able to read the future.
A strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own.
Perhaps so, but I'll read your future.
So it's an interesting future that he reads to, because he kind of hints at the ambiguity that you and Meryl won't survive. Oh, we need to change control port back. That one. Because obviously there are multiple endings in this game, and the game does hint at that, which is always a cool touch. And I think... yeah, that is a pretty good place to end this part 1. When we come back, we'll be taking on another boss fight. I'm not going to stop playing. I'm only going to stop playing when I get to that one save point. But I'm running out of time with the hour mark. So I will leave it there, guys. Catch you in part 2. I hope you've enjoyed it so far.